Well, my back has actually been bothering me quite a bit lately, and it's always so funny to me when something bad, like back pain, actually turns into something really good. So I'll share that with you coming up next. Well, welcome to our front porch. It's a little bit controversial, but I wanted to show Tom that I will actually use it quite a bit besides just for drinking tea and drinking coffee. So here I am. I wish you could actually feel how nice it is out right now. It's like 78 and there's a nice breeze. The crickets are chirping. So it's a very enjoyable place to sit. And hi, I'm Dawn from The Minimal Mom. We love sharing tips and tricks about how you can simplify your house quickly, simplify your life, because it has been so awesome for us. And it just keeps getting better and better. And so we're really excited about it, passionate about it. We'd love it if you'd subscribe if you haven't already, so we can spend more time together. And of course, a thumbs up is always the best compliment that you can give us. But like I said, my back has been bothering me quite a bit lately. And it had happened in the past, especially if I spend too much time sitting at my computer. And so in the past, what I was able to do was raise up my keyboard and my monitor to make my desk a standing desk. And so I found that if I wasn't sitting at my desk so long, but I was standing, that it significantly reduced my back pain. And so I had a stool too, so if I got tired of standing, then I would kind of half sit on the stool. But in the past, when I've had this problem, it took like 2 or 3 days, and then my back was totally fine. And so of course I expected those same results this time around, but it wasn't helping, and this back pain was still lingering and just nagging at me constantly. And so I was like, okay, well, what else do I need to do? And so I started trying to break up my day a little bit and go for quick walks up and down our driveway and then stretch. And so it took about 2 weeks, but finally after 2 weeks that did help, and my back pain finally went away. I still feel like I have to be careful, so I left my desk raised up. Tom said he'll make an actual official standing desk for me, which is only raising my desk actually like a couple inches because I'm so short. But anyways, regardless, he said he'll do that for me. So I'll have a permanent standing desk. But what happened through this process is that I started walking a lot more. And so I still try to get in, my 10,000 steps a day, but then throughout this, I was getting about 5,000 more a day. So about a third more. A third more? Is that how that works? Anyways, so it worked for my back. But what else I didn't expect was that it was just more downtime, more brain processing time when I just got to be outside walking, not doing anything. And so I've always tried when I go on my walk, sometimes I'll call my mom quick, but mostly I try to just completely unplug. I don't listen to music. I don't listen to podcasts because I know that my brain needs this time to process and to just clear everything out. And then what happens a lot of times is I actually get really good ideas when I'm out walking, whether it's work related or even just like parenting, like what do we do in this situation? I've noticed that my brain just needs a little space to think about it, and I'm fully competent. Like I have the tools I need, and so that's been really cool, and I start to really value it. But then I noticed as I even increase this more that the benefits just got better and better. So that was really cool. And so I know in the past I've talked about where to start with decluttering, and I've said, start in the kitchen. It's our control center for our house. We spend so much time in there, and we'll cook more if we're there, and life just feels under control when the kitchen's clean. But I'm starting to think now that the best place actually to start is our schedule, and finding these times, at least 30 minutes a day, where we can get out and do something mindless, like go for a walk, that gives our brain this time to clear out, to process and file the things that it needs to. And so then what I find is when I come back inside, I feel level, I feel even, I don't feel overwhelmed, I feel like things are under control, and I feel like I have much more mental focus to be able to tackle the things that I need to. And as we think about what decluttering actually is, it is decision after decision after decision after decision. If you've ever gone, be like, okay, I'm just going to declutter this closet today, and then you get into it and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired, I'm so overwhelmed. It's because we just had to make like 50 decisions, and that takes a lot of brain energy, a lot of emotional energy. We think, well, I wasn't even doing anything physical. Like I didn't even bring the boxes out to the car yet, right? But I just feel drained. And it's because it still takes a lot of mental energy. Or sometimes we'll just keep putting it off, and we'll put it off, and we'll put it off because we know that it's just going to be kind of overwhelming. And I don't know about you, but I remember in the past, sometimes I'd get into it. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to, declutter this drawer today. Like, I'm going to break it up into little pieces, and I would go into it like, okay, I'm going to get rid of this stuff. I know I don't need it anymore. And then I get into it, and I'm holding the things up, and I start to second guess myself, and I totally lose confidence in my ability to make good decisions around this stuff and whether or not I should actually be getting rid of it. And I think now, looking back, I think it's because my brain was too full at the time when I was going to approach this. I already felt a little bit overwhelmed, a little bit stressed out, and so of course my decision making is going to suffer as well, and I'm not going to have confidence in myself. Whereas now I feel like, since I've been taking this time to just give my mind space to clear out, I feel like now I can go to make a decision and I can be like, yep, I'm very clear-headed about it. Yep, no, I don't need this anymore. We haven't used it for quite a while. If I needed to replace it, definitely less than $20, I'm just going to get rid of it. And so it's amazing to me how just taking this time to let our brain clear out and process has made something like decluttering so much easier. And in the past, I'm the type that would have been tempted to say, well, I'm not going to take 30 minutes to go for a walk. That's time I could be using to simplify our house. And so it was counterintuitive for me to be like, no, first take that 30 minutes to do something mindless where your mind can totally clear out, and then come back in, because when you come back in, you might only have 10 minutes, but it's going to be really focused and it's going to be really productive. And so that's kind of the shift that I've been having to make. And even not just with decluttering, even with work, there's a lot of times I'd be in the middle of something, I'm like, oh, I don't really want to take a break to go walk, but I knew my back needed it, so I would do it, and then I'd come back and I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm so much more productive when I come back to what I was doing then. And so what's funny was then last week my sister called me, and she's been following Michael Hyatt. So she's kind of a productivity, time management junkie. And so she's like, oh, I was listening to this podcast and it was so good. And it's scientifically proven how we can be the most productive is to work in 25-minute increments. So work on something for 25 minutes and then take a 5 to 10 minute break doing something else totally unrelated. And I'm like, that is really funny, because that is exactly what I've been doing lately, and I have found the same thing. And so I love it when what comes naturally to us is actually backed up scientifically then. So my encouragement to you is to really start to look at our schedule and to find these pockets of time that we can just dedicate to clearing out our mind. And if we look at our day and we literally can't find 30 minutes, then probably that's a sign that we're too busy. I mean, I do remember in the past where I would go from waking up in the morning to bedtime and realize that I never went without some kind of input, whether it was work or doing stuff for the kids, making supper, grocery shopping, listening to a podcast, watching YouTube videos, watching TV. And so I've really had to not only schedule these times, so I'm sure to get it in, but also really come to value it and protect it and recognize how vital it is for my peace of mind. So that would be my encouragement to you today. I think you'll find that after you do it for even 2 to 3 days, that your body is going to come to crave it, and it'll no longer be hard to fit it in. The harder part for me now is to say, oh, you got to go back in the house. It's like I just want to keep walking, some days. And so I hope that you find that as well. But I would love to know what activities help you, what activities kind of settle your mind, help you to just come away from it feeling like you have more clear focus and clearer mentally. Please share that down below. Do you make something like walking a priority, or is it a habit you want to start? I would love to hear that down below, or if you found other things that have helped you so that you can just feel really confident in your decision making. And so like I said before, we'd love it if you subscribe if you haven't already. Thumbs up is so appreciated and so kind of you, and we'll definitely look forward to visiting with you again really soon.